And welcome to this edition of ACAP Today for the week of October 12th, 2020. I'm Jason Parent with the Aroostook County Action Program. On this week's program, we're going to talk all things oral health with Lucy Morin, who leads ACAP's oral health program. She's our dental hygienist and a brand new community educator to that program. You may remember her from other programs when she was with the WIC program, and I know she's still working a little bit with the WIC program, but we're very pleased to have her as our new community educator in oral health, and that's Jenna Norton. We're going to be talking with them in just a little bit about getting back into the schools now that schools are back in session, and how different oral health looks in the schools in a COVID era. So we'll be doing that in just a little bit, but before we get to that, we are going to first share with you the news and information that you can use for this week of October 12th, 2020. And we first wanted to share with you, as we have been since the beginning, what our status is at our offices across Aroostook County. We are now welcoming individuals into our buildings at 771 Main Street in Presque Isle, as well as the Military Street facility in Holton. Those facilities both have banners, as you're seeing on the picture on your screen now, with a phone number, a large banner with a phone number. We ask that when you come to the facility, you first call that number, as we may be able to help you by accessing your paperwork through a window or the like. But if you are indeed here for an appointment or need to see someone in the building, we can certainly accommodate that, and we'll have your temperature taken when you come into the building, and we will observe all of our COVID-19 protocols. But we just want to let you know that if you do need to reach us in person at 771 Main Street in Presque Isle, the office near Walmart, or the Holton Military Street facility, you can go to those facilities now, and you will be granted access to the facility, assuming that you're not exhibiting any symptoms of COVID-19. We also want to remind folks, when we're speaking about their health, that officials, including those of us here at ACAP, are really strongly encouraging folks to get their flu shots this season. With the complicating factor of the pandemic happening, we think that it's more important than ever that folks get their flu shots. The remaining clinics scheduled for this month, including a number of them this week, 3 of them this week, are noted there on your screen. On Tuesday of this week at the Limestone Community School from 3:30 to 6:30 p.m. On the 15th, that's Thursday, from 4 to 6:30 at the Caribou High School. On the 17th, from 9 to noon at A.R. Gould Memorial Hospital in Presque Isle on their main campus at 140 Academy Street. And then on the 31st, again on Halloween, from 9 to noon at the A.R. Gould Memorial Hospital. So plenty of opportunities. These are all free flu shot clinics offered by our partners at Cary Medical Center and Northern Light A.R. Gould Hospital. We're very thankful for doing this service with our community. We are also, and this is a program that Lucy's very familiar with, as she was one of these individuals, ACAP Navigator services are available to you. We do have other folks standing by now that Lucy's gone back to her regular day job. But if you don't know what services might be available to you and are in need of assistance at this time, ACAP Navigator services are the perfect place to turn. Call us at 764-3721 and ask for a navigator, and we will connect you with one. It's a very helpful service, as our guests can certainly attest. The Community Codes Project is started back up outside our 771 Main Street facility. Same philosophy as our community cupboard. It's leave what you can, take what you need. We've seen a lot of people come through, and as the temperatures get colder, if you're in need of a coat or if you have a like to give, just place it on the rack outside. We just recently did something out in front of the building where we will have those coats in an area that's a little bit more private and more sheltered from the elements, but still outside nonetheless in front of our building. And so we'll probably have a new picture for you of that in the coming week. The community cupboard, speaking of which, is just in the same basic area as the Community Codes Project outside of our 771 Main Street facility. However, there are also community cupboards across Aroostook County, in central Aroostook, southern and northern Aroostook County, that different community organizations are sponsoring. Again, the concept of give what you can, take what you need. Acknowledge that this month, for the month of October, our sponsor of the month for the community cupboard is the United Way of Aroostook. If you or your organization would like to sponsor our community cupboard for a month period of time, please please contact Sherry Locke here at our office. HEAP information, it's HEAP season. We are currently taking all of our appointments by phone unless folks otherwise request to have an in-person appointment. So we do encourage folks to contact us if they think they may qualify. There are new program guidelines for this year that are up from last season, and last season's guidelines saw a significant increase in eligibility. So we do encourage you, if you've not applied for HEAP or it's been a number of years, please do contact and reach out to us. We will be doing a day during an upcoming telethon on the 19th of November, where we'll be allowing folks to give us a call to apply over the phone that day if you're not currently an applicant of HEAP. And we'll imagine we'll be very booked on that day, but if you'd like to schedule a HEAP appointment for later into the season, please do give us a call. And we are observing all appropriate protocols by trying to do as many of these over the phone as possible. So very convenient. If you don't have transportation, we can certainly reach you over the phone. The fuel assistance program and other information through ACAP are the topic of special meetings being held via Zoom. They're designated for community partners, other nonprofit organizations, community faith-based organizations, and municipal leaders. The next one is happening on the 14th of October from 2 to 4 p.m. We talk about HEAP, the eligibility requirements, the income guidelines, the emergency fuel process, as well as a number of other programs here at ACAP that are covered in this 2-hour meeting. We just held one last week with some leaders in the community, and it was very informative and appreciated by all. Please do send us an email at info@acap-me.org if you haven't received an invitation for this and would like to participate in these important meetings to get information on how you might be able to help others access assistance over the coming winter months. The weatherization program is celebrating this month, as we discussed in last week's ACAP Today. This is Energy Awareness Month, Energy Efficiency Awareness Month, and certainly both our HEAP program, Home Energy Assistance Program, and Weatherization Program do tremendously good work in our community and help us in our community conserve and be safe and warm in their homes, conserve fuel and stay safe and warm in their homes. So join us in celebrating our housing and energy services this month. ACAP is also reminding folks that we do have assistance available for individuals who are seeking employment or looking to go back to work, to develop skills or to go to school. There are programs for both adults and youth. If you are a youth and would like to enroll in that program and are age 16 through 24, please do give us a call. We have openings in that program now. We can help with things like transportation and childcare as needed. We also have an opioid epidemic grant where we're helping individuals who are in recovery gain employment, and also helping individuals who would like to work in a field working with individuals in recovery to gain employment and opportunities for employment in that field. So please do give us a call if we can be of any assistance to you in that regard. Speaking of workforce development, our workforce development team, along with the teams at Coastal Counties Workforce and the Workforce Solutions and EMDC, are partnering to offer collaborative workshops on various topics. They're listed there on your screen. If you think you could benefit from any of those, they're all online and they're delivered collaboratively by the network. Please do give us a call and we'll get you connected with those workshops here through ACAP. Our Homeworks Homebuyer Education course, there's one of those remaining this year, this calendar year, and that's Saturday, November 14th. These have been tremendously popular this year, and most are booked and sold out. We do have some slots left for our November class, which will be happening completely virtually from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday, November 14th. Please contact Greg Doak here at our office at the information on your screen if you would like to register for the class. And finally, today we want to remind everyone out there that we're doing our part to be safe and to stay safe. We've asked all of our employees and all of our facilities and any of our shared spaces to be certain to wear a mask, and we encourage our employees to do that when out in public as well. And we likewise encourage you to do that as well. So join us in being safe, keeping our community safe and healthy, and please do wear your mask when you're out in public. And so with that, it is now my pleasure to welcome to ACAP Today our program guest today, and both have been on this program before, both ironically for different purposes, but I'm pleased to welcome back Lucy Morin in her capacity as our dental hygienist. Welcome, Lucy.
Thank you.
And Jenna, I'm very pleased to welcome you in this new role. Folks will remember you as we've been speaking with you about the WIC program and the changes in that program through COVID-19. But there are changes for you as well, and you have accepted this new position with us as a community educator in the oral health arena. And so thank you for doing that and welcome.
Yes, thank you, Jason.
So Lucy, I guess I want to start with you first before we get fully into the oral health to say that all of the team members across the ACAP organization had to change and make some really quick changes in the time of COVID-19. But in your case, it was a really like 180-degree change. You did something completely different. So tell us about what you have been doing for the past few months, several months actually, and how that worked for you.
Okay, so for the past several months, I've been working as a navigator for ACAP. And what I was doing is I was assisting clients, most recently in the rental assistance program. And I was working from home, which was a big change because I'm used to traveling Aroostook County. And what I would do is I would just, help, call them and help them get rental assistance. So definitely a big change from what I was doing, Jason.
And we were so pleased that you accepted that assignment and we were able to work with you. You helped so many people across Aroostook County. And I know that you shared with us some of the touching stories of individuals that you were able to reach, but thank you very much for that.
Well, thank you for having me. I learned a lot. I learned so much about computers and about just reaching out to the clients even more. So it was a good experience.
So before we get into the oral health specific, Jenna, let's talk about your transition for a minute. You were with the WIC program and you're not completely not with the WIC program, correct? You're still working amongst the team.
Yes. Yep. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so tell us about your new role.
Yeah, right now I'm just helping Lucy out with whatever I can. We just started going into this school, so I'm just learning, what's expected for this role and this position. Still helping with WIC when they need me, and still going into the schools to do nutrition classes for the Head Start and Early Head Start programs. So still doing what I love to do.
Great. So before we get into how things have changed with the oral health program as a result of COVID-19, let's let folks know, for those who don't know, what ACAP does in the oral health realm. So Lucy, why don't I start with you in terms of the work that you do, because a lot of it really happens in public schools, correct?
Yes. So what happens, we have two programs. There's the fluoride varnish program and the sealant program. The fluoride varnish program is offered twice a year. So we go into the schools every fall and every spring. And what we do is we do oral screenings on all children who have signed up for the program, and we apply the fluoride varnish. And we do grades pre-K through 8th, as long as 8th grade is included in the elementary schools. Some schools it's only pre-K till grade 5. So in that case, we would only do with that age group. And what we do is I oral screen children, and for any kids that have an immediate or an urgent need, they have an abscess or they have a lot of rampant decay, I send home I send home the referral form, but we also have the school nurse call the parents at home to let them know that they need to see a dentist immediately. In Ashland this week, I identified 2 abscesses. There are 2 different children that had a couple of abscesses. So the school nurse called mom and they were able to get into a dentist right away. So the other program that we have is the sealant program. And with that program, it's offered to children in 2nd grade. And what I do is I go in and I do an oral screening and I apply sealants to all their 6-year molars. And so we do all 2nd graders, any new 3rd graders that have moved into the school. yeah, so that's basically what our program is.
So Lucy, let me ask you, as it relates to that, and what we've heard in the sort of the primary care setting about, some children over the period of the pandemic, because they weren't engaging with medical providers because of COVID and the like, some immunizations lapsed and things like that. As you're returning to the schools now, and you mentioned that you would do work in the fall and in the spring, and I'm guessing the spring work was mostly curtailed. Are you seeing there are more challenges as a result of the period that has elapsed, if you will?
I would think so, yes. I know that on a couple of the forms, the fluoride permission forms the parents wrote, usually we go every 6 months, and we couldn't go due to the pandemic. But definitely, and it's a challenge for these children. I mean, if they were on a recall schedule, getting them back into the flow is a little difficult. It's going to take some time to kind of get things going again. So, but we're there, to help and to hopefully identify any problems that they may have.
So I know we'll come back to you in a minute to talk about how the process and things have changed. I know you've got some new things that you're doing as a result of COVID to make sure everybody stays healthy and safe. But I want to hear first from you, Jenna, in terms of the community health education component of our oral health program. And I recognize that you're still sort of learning the position, but help us learn with you what your role is and what you do out in the community.
Yeah, what I've learned is I'll be able to educate people on oral health, whether that's like in the classrooms or like at like community fairs and things like that, if we do that again. And, there would be some oral health education games that have a lot of little giveaways like toothbrushes, toothpaste, things like that. I won't be taking the place of Anne as the tooth fairy.
But tooth fairy's retired?
Yeah, possibly, but
don't tell the kids out there. The real tooth fairy's not. Everybody, it's okay.
That's true.
Real tooth fairy's not retired.
You would make a cute tooth fairy.
Yes, I would. Maybe once I get more into the works, but I definitely won't be able to replace the tooth fairy for sure. Anne was a good fairy, so.
You do work together, right? I mean, you accompany Lucy. You are.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, I do accompany her when we go to the schools, and I think, from my understanding too, I'll be helping with some fluoride applicants. But it's mostly just a follow up, help with the paperwork, and just really whatever she asks me to do, I'll do it. So
we all do whatever Lucy asks us to do. That's
exactly
that's a principle, right, Lucy? That's part of everyone's contract here. So Lucy, you obviously, Jenna's brand new, but you know very well, having done this for a number of years, what the difference is between a pre-COVID school visit and a now in COVID era school visit. So tell us how things are different and what you're doing differently and how people are responding differently.
How things are different. We have to enter the school with a mask on, and we have to sanitize our hands as soon as we enter. Some of the schools, our temperature is going to be taken. I know in Fort Kent they are doing that. Some schools, they are not doing that. Ashland was not doing that. They're just having the parents monitor their kids at home. The other thing that has changed is all the kids are wearing masks. So that's a little different. They have to kind of pull down their mask whenever I do an oral screening. And also the social distancing of the children. We always have to keep that in mind. They have to stay at least 3 feet apart. So that can be a little challenging because we used to bring maybe a bigger group of children into the room and have them wait in line. Now we maybe bring about 3 and we make sure that the social distancing is correct. The other big change, it's going to be a big change for me as well, is we are going to be using a different kind of sealant than what I have been using the past 23 years of my career. I was using a resin sealant, and with the resin sealant, I would have to use water and suction and air, and those things produce aerosols. So now what I am doing is I am going to a glass ionomer sealant, and with the glass ionomer sealant, I do not need water, and air, and all I need is cotton rolls, and the sealant can actually be placed on when the tooth is moist, which is totally different than what I'm used to. Usually the sealant is placed when the tooth is very dry. So there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve for me. I haven't gotten my material and I haven't started doing the sealants in the schools yet, but I'm going to be practicing on my family. And, you know, just open
Jenna, you might be lined up for that.
I know. I might be next.
Yeah. So, but it's going, I think with doing the glass ionomer, it's going to be a faster process. Hopefully, maybe I'll be able to see more kids and seal more teeth than what I'm used to doing. So I think it will be a good thing.
Great. Are you encountering, have you gotten to that point yet where you're encountering parents saying, you know, no, I don't really want anybody doing anything right now in this COVID era? Have you seen that?
Not yet. We've only been in 2 schools though. So it'll be interesting to see as we go if there will be some of that.
So in your professional capacity, talk about the benefit and what putting sealants on children's teeth, what's the benefit of that? Because the benefits are many, and I just
oh my gosh,
help us explain. Yeah.
So we do the sealants when the kids are in 2nd grade, and by then usually their 6-year molars are erupted, although sometimes they're not, at which we will apply them in 3rd grade. But these are brand new teeth, and they're usually very, very groovy and very difficult. It's very difficult to clean those grooves, even if they're a really good brusher. So what happens is we put it's a dental sealant right on the tooth, and it just helps to cover the grooves of the tooth, so it prevents decay from happening. And actually, the representative of the glass ionomer sealant that I'm going to be using was saying that the glass ionomer releases a fluoride, and that it even works better as a sealant than the resin did. So I'm anxious to see. Yeah, but dental sealants prevent tooth decay, so all kids should be getting them, definitely.
And I know you're very passionate about your work, but it is very true that, I mean, people say that oral health leads to better health overall, correct? I mean, it's an indication.
Yes, 100%. I'll just give a simple story. I had one patient, she was in her 20s, and she had very deep pocketing, which we would call periodontal disease. And that's very odd for a woman in her 20s. And I told her, I asked her, are you diabetic? No, not that I know of. I said, I think you need to go get checked. And sure enough, she did. And the next time I saw her, she had been diagnosed with diabetes. So it was because of seeing, you know, me or an oral health provider that I was able to make that connection. So absolutely. The diabetes at the age of 20, she was 23, maybe very early 20s, had already affected her oral health. Yeah.
Wow. Now, Jenna, your professional background is in nutrition aligned work, and so you definitely see the benefits of what people ingest and what people eat and the healthy foods that they consume, hopefully, and the contribution to health overall and oral health.
Yes, definitely. That's the first rule of thumb is everything that goes in your mouth first. That's the first start of digestion. So when you're having a lot of pain in your mouth, that kind of cuts back on people not wanting to eat as much, or just eating, avoiding foods that should be in their diet because it hurts. So that's really important to have good dental teeth and hygiene and things like that. And if you don't have that, it affects everything else from the mouth down. So.
What are you most looking forward to about this new role?
Oh my gosh. I'm looking forward to just learning more specifically about the teeth in general. Like I know like the general idea, but it's going to be really exciting to be back in the classrooms for sure. I missed that in my previous work as a nutritionist for SNAP-Ed. So I'm really looking forward to see the kids again too, and just learning a new role and just getting more out there in the community. I'm really going to be looking forward to that.
Now, Lucy, one of the things we didn't chat about that I want to make sure we get in here is that you do also have a connection and do some work with both the WIC program and the Head Start, Early Head Start program here at ACAP. So talk a little bit about that work you do.
So I also, I work with ACAP Head Starts, and so what I do is I go in and I do little oral screenings, I do dental cleanings and fluoride varnish on the little ones. That's a lot of fun. And also I work with the WIC program. So any children that are on WIC, I can also do oral screenings. I chat with the parents, make sure that the parents have a dental home, and try to maybe you know, refer them to a dental home if they don't have one. So yeah, I love all my roles, Jason. I don't know.
Well, I must say I'm a bit selfishly looking forward to being able to see you a little bit more now that we're going to be doing WIC clinics here at 771 Main Street.
Yes.
So I will occasionally get to see you, other than just, you know, accidentally tripping over you when you're rarely in the hall because you're always out for school, which is great. I'm glad you're doing what you love, but it'll be nice to see you. And it's nice to see you both in this format. Anything that we missed, Lucy or Jenna, that you want to share with folks about your work?
I would like to say, even if your child goes to the dentist twice a year, please sign them up for our program. Sometimes, you know, things happen, or even like with the sealant program, like you may think that your child has sealants, but sometimes the sealants fall out and I can reapply them. I can make sure that they're still there. So it's still really important. It's a free service for everybody, every single child. So please sign them up. We want to see them.
Yeah, that's important to know, because a lot of people assume that ACAP services all have income eligibility guidelines. This is not one of them. Please do, when you get that, is a permission slip that goes out, Lucy, to parents?
Yes.
When you do, make sure you sign up for that. Jen, anything from you?
Oh gosh, yeah, mostly I'm excited to be out with Lucy and learning a new role, and dental, you know, hygiene and practice is really important. So keep brushing your teeth. Maybe the tooth fairy will come. Who knows?
You might, the daughter of the tooth fairy. We're gonna have to
Yes.
Tooth Fairy 2.0. Jenna's you can do Tooth Fairy 2.0. You can do a whole different get up for that. If you
That's true. That's true.
Different look. You invent it.
All right, I will.
All right, Lucy and Jenna, thank you so much for making bright smiles across Aroostook County, because the work that you do is very important. Very important for our families in Aroostook County, the work that you do. So before we all leave you, we want to just remind folks out there, as I'm sure Lucy would, given her last several months of work as a navigator, to remind you to please do reach out to us. Contact us. You can call us. You can email us. You can visit our Facebook page to check out some of the great things that our early care and education and prevention specialists have done. You can look for us on Facebook. We have some great updates there. And visit our relatively new website, where you can connect with all of our services online. So please do just reach out to us if you are in need of assistance. We can certainly help navigate you to those services. And lastly, before we leave you, as we do each week, our photo or snapshot of the week. Don't stop believing in the wonders of fall. This is one of our wonderful, yes, isn't it wonderful, ladies? Look at the smile. That's one of the smiles you help maintain right there. So this is one of our early care and education children discovering just how much fun a pile of leaves can be, and weren't it that we could all have that much fun. They're blowing around out there today, but if you can get into a pile of leaves and just be a kid again, please take the opportunity to do that as we enjoy this spectacular fall season. But in the meantime, while you go searching for your pile of leaves, we want to thank you for joining us here on ACAP Today for this week, the week of October 12th, 2020. We look forward to seeing you again next week, when we explore a different topic with some more great folks from here at the Aroostook County Action Program. So on behalf of our entire team, 170 strong across Aroostook County, I'm Jason Parent, wishing you all a great week. Enjoy.
Thank you, Jason.